welcome back to Kidz Korner. My name is Christine, and today I am going to read you some stories. But before that, I'm going to do something like what Mr. Rogers did a long time ago. You may not know who he is, or maybe your moms and dads will know him. I'm just going to get comfortable and put my slippers on. It's cold on the floor here, but you want to relax. How about you? Maybe you can relax on the floor with your mom and dad or whomever is watching you, your siblings, whomever. And I'll get my glasses on because I need glasses to read. I don't know about you, and my first book I'm going to read is Dragonfly's Tale by Christina Rodanas. And I hope I'm pronouncing all these names correctly. If you want to, as you can tell, they're Indian, and I'll just read you in the beginning. Once, many lifetimes ago, the people known as the Ashiwai often offended the spirits who had given them bountiful harvests. When the Cord maidens withdrew their blessings, hard times came to the Ashiwi. It was left to a boy and his little sister, with the help of a wonderful insect fashioned from corn stalks, to restore the good fortune of their people. Based on a tradition, Zuni tale, this story reflects the original teller's concern with kindness to others and respect for nature's gifts. The clear light and rugged landscape of the American Southwest shine forth from Christina Rodana's richly colored illustrations. And this book is donated in memory of David Korikowski by Rabbi Henry Olika. And I hope I'm pronouncing your names correctly. This is how the story goes. Many lifetimes ago, in the days of the ancient ones, there lived a tribe of people known as the Ashiwai. Their village was called Ashaku, and it sat at the top of a hill. The houses were built side by side, one upon another, in the shape of a great honeycomb. Two powerful spirits, the maidens of the white and yellow corn, watched over the village. Each spring, they sent warm winds to chase away the snow. In summer, they brought friendly rains to nourish the cornfields of Hawaka. The corn plants grew straight and strong with the Cord maiden's blessings. Year after year, the people harvested more than they could eat, and the storerooms overflowed with corn. You want to see a picture of that? See? There's one on top of the other, the houses. And here's the ladies in the cornfield. And here's the corn, the stalks of corn. One day, after the last of the ripe corn had been gathered and stored away, a group of children had a mud fight. Their laughter echoed down the narrow streets as they playfully threw lumps of dirt and mud. The head chief of the tribe saw their game. Watching the children play, he thought of a plan to show off his people's wealth. He called a meeting of all the elders to share his scheme. The Ashiwai must celebrate their richest harvest with a mock battle, announced the chief. Our weapons will be made of bread, batter, and dough. Let us invite our neighbors to take part. How they will envy our prosperity when they see us using our food for play. Yes, yes, agreed the elders. Let us begin, as they praised the cleverness of their leader. Here's them all sitting around together as he's telling them of his scheme. And the children were playing in the background. I'll show you the picture so you can see the next slide. The elders ordered the people to prepare for the festivities. The swiftest runners were sent to summon the guests from the surrounding villages. Excited, the people set to work chopping wood to fuel the ovens and grinding corn into meal. The cooking fires roared and crackled. The air was sweet with the smell of baking bread and boiling mush. Do you know that smell? I know bread smelling in the oven. It smells pretty good. On the day of the celebration, the Korn maidens decided to go to Hawaka to see what the commotion was about. Disguised as old and bedraggled women, they limped into town. No one noticed the warm, misty wind that accompanied them. Here's the ladies again, if you missed it. They dressed as old ladies. See that? At the crowded village plaza, the Korn maidens paused to look around. Everywhere they saw bowls and baskets filled with batter and dough. Mounds of cake steamed in the windows. Stacks of bread covered the housetops. A boy and his little sister sat nearby, munching corn cakes drenched in honey. When they saw how ragged and hungry the two women looked, they held out their hands to offer them some food. But one of the elders quickly snatched it away. "Good food should not be wasted on beggars," he scolded. "These women are too lazy to grow their own corn. They are like hungry coyotes looking for an easy meal." Ooh, that's pretty harsh. You think? I think so too. Suddenly, the plaza grew silent as the chief began to divide the people into teams. Then, with a nod of his head, the great battle began. Everyone laughed as they ducked flying bread and biscuits. One team hurled balls of dough, while the other threw globs of batter. They invited neighbors, stared in bewilderment as their hosts smeared each other with precious food. You want to see? Look at all that. They're ready to throw food. You ever had a food fight? Yeah, I don't think your mom or dad probably liked the results after it was done, but that's not something you're supposed to do. But they did this. The Korn maidens watched the fight with heavy hearts. They had blessed the Ashiwai with an abundance of food, but the people had thrown away their gifts. "It is time to reach our children, to teach our children a lesson," said one maiden to the other. Then, like wind-blown smoke, they vanished. When the games ended, the guests went home in disgust. While the moon rose over the town, the seed eaters scampered into the plaza. Silently, armies of mice, gophers, bugs, and birds carried away every crumb of food. Then they tunneled into the storerooms and stole the corn. They worked all through the night, for the Korn maidens had warned them that a great famine was soon to come to the village of Hawaka. You see the birds and the moon. It was dark and grim. And over here you see the mice gobbling up all the food and gathering them for their home. The people could hardly believe their eyes the next morning. All the wasted food that had covered their village streets had disappeared. Their storerooms were half empty. "Who cares?" they asked one another. "We have more than enough corn to last through the winter until our next great harvest." Winter came and was slow to pass. Warm winds arrived late, and the rains never fell to moisten the soil. Oh no, the priests sang their most sacred chants, and danced their most powerful rituals. But the corn maidens refused to send their blessings. The corn plants grew weak and withered in the hot, cracked earth. Oh my Lord. What are they to do now? They wasted all that food, or that food fight. Their storerooms bare, their people are cactus and ground bones. Autumn arrived, then winter, and the famine deepened. The snows came and were heavier than anyone could recall. What was to be done? The chief called together a council. "We will go to our neighbors for help," he declared. "If we delay, we will starve. We must leave for their village tonight." The people rushed to collect their warmest robes and blankets. They hurried from their homes and scrambled into the icy darkness. Oh, it looks pretty grim, doesn't it? Dark, cold, windy, no food. In one house, a boy and his little sister were forgotten. No one had noticed them sleeping beside the hearth. When the boy woke up, he climbed the ladder to the sky hole and gazed all around. The village was empty. Although he was frightened, he knew he would need to comfort his sister. Perhaps he could make a beautiful toy, something to remind her of happier times. "I know," he whispered. "I will make her a butterfly." While the little girl slept, the boy set to work. He carved the butterfly's body from the core of a dry corn stalk and made its legs from straw. Carefully, he cut the wings out of a brittle corn leaf. The leaf was narrow, so he had to make long, slender wings. Then he painted the insect with bright colors. The thin pigment spread out, making the eyes very large and forming a delicate pattern of lines in the corn leaf wings. The boy admired his creation. Although it did not look exactly like a butterfly, it was certainly a wonderful creature. Here's the boy. He's making the butterfly. It looks pretty good. When she heard that they were alone in the village, the little girl began to cry. Oh. But the cornstalk creature helped her forget her sadness. All day she played with a beautiful toy which twirled around and round at the end of a long thread. That night, just before sleep, the child said to the creature, "Please fly away and find us some food to eat." For a moment, it seemed the brittle wings fluttered as if the toy had heard her request. For a moment, it seemed the brittle wings fluttered as if the toy had heard her request. Later, while his sister slept, the boy heard a soft buzzing sound. It said, "Let me go." Looking up, he saw his butterfly spinning in the moonlight. Its wings were beating wildly. He reached out to calm the strange creature, then carefully untied it. Humming the insect, darting around their room with a twang like a bowstring. It shot straight up through the sky hole and soared into the night. See this? Isn't that beautiful? The creature flew south to the land of everlasting summer, where the corn maidens lived. When he neared their home, he was tired from his long journey. For an instant, he rested upon the silken tassel of a corn plant. Then he flew to another, and in this way he finally came to the corn maiden's dwelling. The creature found the two spirits strolling through the green fields. He told them all about the boy and his sister. "We will gladly help the two little sisters, the two little ones," said the maiden of the yellow corn. "There was once a time when they offered us food. We have not forgotten their kindness." Then the maiden summoned the messengers and directed them to deliver food to the children. The creature thanked the cord maidens and happily hummed his way back to Hayaka. See the two ladies in the cornfield? Yes, and talking to the butterfly. When the children woke up, the house was filled with baskets of beans and squash. A mound of corn reached to the ceiling. The boy and his sister danced for joy. But where was the cornstalk creature? The little girl found him in a dark corner, perched on a painted jar. He sat very still, as though he knew nothing at all about the mysterious food delivery. Brother and sister had plenty to eat in the days that followed. As time passed, winter waned. A warm wind blew in from the south and melted away the snow. Look at all the corn and the vegetables and the pumpkin and the beans, and happy two little boy and the girl, their sister and brother, so happy. I know, I'm turning these pages here. As the children slept, the Ashuai returned to Hayaka, humbled by the great famine that had come to replant their fields, hoping for an ample harvest. When they saw the ripening corn, the people were astonished. "We have been blessed by the cord maidens," they said to one another. One of the elders had noticed the brother and sister sleeping at the edge of the cornfield. The little girl was holding a wonderful toy, an insect made of cornstalk. "These two children are the ones who have been blessed," he declared. The chief stepped forward. "Let us honor the cord maidens, and let us learn from the children who have received their gifts," he said. "Then perhaps we too may share in the blessing." Here's all of them together around the brother and the sister and rejoice of all the food that they have received. From then on, the people were careful not to take the corn maiden's gifts for granted. They respected the boy and his sister and learned their ways of kindness. The cornfields thrived and all the Ashuai prospered. And what became of the cornstalk creature? To this day, in early summer, when the corn is beginning to bloom, he appears. Never content with his resting place, he hums from one corn tassel to the next. He is known as dragonfly. You see the picture of the dragonfly and the cornstalks? Look for him this summer. Maybe you'll get to see a dragonfly too. Isn't that a great story? Folks, we have time for another one. And this one is called Officer Buckle and Gloria. I don't know if you can see on both cameras here. I wonder what they're going to tell us. Officer Buckle. He knows more about safety than anyone in the town of Napeville. But whatever he tries to share his safety tips, nobody listens until, that is, the Napeville Police Department buys a police dog named Gloria. That's the beginning. So Officer Buckle and Gloria. Now, I got these books at the Bristol Library, the Forestful one. They even gave me a bag to carry it in. I picked the maroon one. They had a blue one too, but all right. Officer Buckle knew more safety tips than anyone else in Napeville. Every time he thought of a new one, he thumbtacked it to his bulletin board. Safety tip number 77, never stand on a swivel chair. See that? That's what happened. You'll fall right off. Here's a swivel chair. Or it could tip over. You could hurt yourself. Officer Buckle shared his safety tips with the students at Napeville School. Nobody ever listened. Sometimes there was snoring. Afterward, it was business as usual. Mrs. Topple, the principal, took down the welcome banner. Never Stand on a swivel chair, said Officer Buckle by Mrs. Topple, but Mrs. Topple didn't hear him. See, he was up there trying to tell them, and they're just sleeping and snoring and not paying attention. They're falling on the stairs and too many books. Look at all these accidents that could happen. And there's the swivel chair, and she could fall right off, and she's got a hammer. That could hurt her or someone else. Yeah, that's not good. And over here, there's a sink with water. It's dripping. Somebody slipped and fell. Over here is their books trying to go upstairs. Right here, he didn't tie his shoe. You know what happens if you don't tie your shoe? As he did, he fell. Then one day, Napeville's police department bought a police dog named Gloria. When it was time for Officer Buckle to give the safety speech at the school, Gloria went along. "Children, this is Gloria," announced Officer Buckle. "Gloria obeys my commands. Gloria, sit." And Gloria sat. You see what the dog looks like? He's just a cute little guy right there. Or she. Her name is Gloria, correct? That was a big mistake. Officer Buckle gave safety tip number 1. Keep your shoelaces tied. Remember I showed you the picture where he fell? He slipped on the floor, tripped. The children sat up and stared. Officer Buckle checked to see if Gloria was sitting at attention. She was. See? She's just sitting there at attention, and she's listening. Safety tip number 2, said Officer Buckle. Always wipe up spills before someone slips and falls. The children's eyes popped. Officer Buckle checked on Gloria again. Good dog, he said. Officer Buckle thought of a safety tip he had discovered that morning. Never leave a thumbtack where you might sit on it. The audience just laughed. Officer Buckle grinned. He said, the rest of the tips were plenty of expression. The children clapped their hands and cheered. Some of them laughed until they cried. Officer Buckle was surprised. He had never noticed how funny safety tips could be. After the safety speech, there wasn't a single accident. If you notice, Gloria is showing them all that he's saying and making the tricks. See, sitting on a thumbtack, and the dog goes up, so that they're laughing and roaring, so they understand what it is. And here, too, is slipping on water and falling, but he doesn't know what Gloria is doing behind him. The next day, an enormous envelope arrived at the police station. It was stuffed with thank you letters from the students at Napeville School. Every letter had a drawing of Gloria on it. Officer Buckle thought the drawing showed a lot of imagination. Look, they all have a picture of Gloria, the dog. They love her, and they listen to her, thanking him for coming to their school. His favorite letter was written on a star-shaped piece of paper. It said, "You and Gloria make a good team. Your friend, Claire. P.S. I always wear a crash helmet." Safety tip number 7. Officer Buckle was thumbtacking Claire's letter to his bulletin board when the phone started ringing. Grade schools, high schools, and daycare centers were calling about the safety speech. "Officer Buckle," they said, "our students want to hear your safety tips, and please bring along that police dog." Officer Buckle told his safety tips to 313 schools. Everywhere he had Gloria went, children sat up and listened. After every speech, Officer Buckle took Gloria out for ice cream. Officer Buckle loved having a buddy. Then one day, a television news team videotaped Officer Buckle in the State College auditorium. See? Yeah. He was popular. She was popular. And so was Officer Buckle. When he finished safety tip number 99, do not go swimming during electrical storms, the students jumped up to their feet and applauded. As you see, Gloria, she's showing you what it would look like, what it would do to you. It would just kill you. "Bravo, bravo," they cheered. Officer Buckle bowed again and again. That night, Officer Buckle watched himself on the 10 o'clock news. The next day, the principal of Naples School telephoned the police station. "Good morning, Officer Buckle. It's time for our safety speech." Officer Buckle frowned. "I'm not giving any more speeches. Nobody looks at me anyway." "Oh," said Mrs. Tupple. "Well, how about Gloria? Could she come?" Someone else from the police station gave Gloria a ride to the school. We're out of time, so I have to tell you the ending that says, "Always stick with your buddy." Gloria gave Officer Buckle a big kiss on the nose. Officer Buckle gave Gloria a nice pat on the back, and then Officer Buckle thought of the best safety tip yet. Always stick with your buddy. Isn't that a great story? That was Officer Buckle and Gloria. Wouldn't you like to have that in your school? I don't know of any, though, but that was a great story. And thanks for tuning in to Kidz Korner. We'll see you again soon. It was fun reading to you. Bye-bye.